Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something pretty incredible? We're talking drones today.
Drones.
Specifically, how the Russia-Ukraine conflict is basically a whole new chapter in warfare
Oh, yeah.
because of them. It's wild. And we've got some seriously in-depth articles and research reports
Lots to unpack.
to dig into.
Yeah,
And trust me, this stuff is like straight out of the future. It's mind-blowing.
definitely eye-opening, yeah.
So the thing is, we're not just going to list off like drones do this, drones do that.
Right.
It's bigger than that. It's about how this tech is changing the whole game of war, you know?
Totally. I mean, what we're seeing in this conflict, it really shows you the whole range of what drones can do.
Yeah.
We're way past those, like, viral videos of drone strikes. This is, like, fundamental to how wars are fought now.
Okay, so let's break it down for everyone listening.
Yeah.
We all kind of know what drones are.
Sure.
But what makes them so different, so game-changing on an actual battlefield?
It's the force multiplier effect.
Okay, force multiplier, what does that even mean?
Basically, a smaller military force can hit way above its weight, like
Hmm.
they've got superpowers or something. And drones are the key. Take surveillance, for example.
Okay, yeah.
Constant intel, real time. They can pinpoint enemy movement. It's crazy precise.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like this level of strategic planning, it was impossible just a few years ago.
So it's not JST that you've got eyes in the sky. It's that the information never stops.
Exactly. And all that intel leads right into another advantage: targeted strikes.
Okay.
Forget carpet bombing. Drones can take out one specific target, so much less collateral damage.
Wow.
They can hit a tank, a command post, disrupt a supply line, all without the drone operator being anywhere near the action.
So it's got to be way cheaper than like sending in fighter jets or something.
Way cheaper. A single drone mission might cost, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars maybe, but
Yeah.
a traditional airstrike, millions. Plus, no pilots are risking their lives. That cost effectiveness and
Yeah.
saving lives, that's why every military is looking at this tech.
Okay, so let's get specific. How are these drones actually being used in Ukraine? What are we seeing play out?
Well, on the Ukrainian side, you've got the Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that one.
Early in the conflict, that thing was a game changer. Operational range over 150 kilometers, carries laser-guided bombs, just wrecked Russian armored columns.
No kidding.
There are even, like, Ukrainian folk songs about this drone.
Seriously, a drone folk song? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, but it's not just the big famous drones.
Right.
Ukraine's been super creative, using smaller, faster drones, quick strikes, reconnaissance, even dropping small explosives.
Wow.
Sometimes they modify commercial drones. It's really adaptable, hard to counter.
So high-tech and DIY all mixed up. That's wild.
Totally.
Okay, so what about the Russians? What's their drone game like?
They've been using a lot of Iranian-made Shahed drones, especially the Shahed 136.
Okay.
These are basically loitering munitions, like kamikaze drones. Long-range attacks, mostly hitting Ukrainian infrastructure.
So less about pinpoint accuracy, more about just causing chaos?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
Less sophisticated than the Bayraktars, for sure, but still super effective, especially in large numbers.
Yeah.
Power grids, communications, civilian buildings, it's disrupted life for millions of people.
So with both sides using drones so heavily,
Yeah.
so is this like a drone arms race now? They're always adapting their tactics?
Oh, there's definitely that element. This conflict has sped up how fast drone tech is being developed and used. New counter-drone stuff, better AI. The tactics are evolving constantly, like high-stakes chess, but with real lives on the line.
Okay, so drones aren't just about, like, who has the coolest tech.
Yeah,
There's more to it.
you're talking about the psychological effects,
Huh.
ethical questions.
The long-term stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the human side of this, the ethics, how this tech could change, like, the world as we know it.
And that's exactly where we're headed next.
Mhm.
We'll unpack all that.
Yeah.
The psychological toll on soldiers, on civilians, the ethical minefield of autonomous weapons.
And how drone technology could reshape the global landscape, everything. So yeah, the psychological impact. It's like
Yeah.
a whole new kind of warfare, mentally. Like, imagine you're a soldier, right? Front lines, always knowing there are enemy drones watching you.
Yeah.
You can never really relax, never feel safe. Any minute there could be a strike.
Oh, wow.
It creates this constant tension, paranoia, like you're being hunted all the time.
I bet that sounds exhausting, just mentally.
Oh, it is. And that fear, that anxiety, it messes with everything.
Yeah.
How well a soldier fights, their decisions, their whole well-being. We're seeing, like, way more PTSD,
Really?
anxiety disorders, sleep problems, all that among soldiers who've been through this kind of drone warfare.
It's a good reminder that war, it's not just about the physical injuries.
Right, right. And then there's the civilians
Yeah,
living with that constant threat, never knowing when or where a drone might hit.
That's terrifying.
It creates this atmosphere of terror, just wears people down completely.
And even with those precise strokes, we still see reports of civilian casualties.
Yep. That potential for collateral damage, even with good targeting, it's always there.
It's tough.
Raises a huge ethical question, like who's responsible when a drone strike goes wrong?
Right.
Is it the person operating it, the company that built it, the government that sent it out? It's messy.
Yeah.
Legally, ethically, we're only starting to figure this stuff out.
And it's only going to get harder, right? If the tech gets better, more autonomous.
Exactly. Think about it. We've already got drones that can find and track targets on their own.
Wow.
So what happens when you take the human out of the loop? Who makes the call then? Life or death? What if the drone glitches, makes a mistake? We got to think about these things NW before this tech gets even more powerful, more widespread.
It's almost like something from a sci-fi movie.
Oh, right. But it's real, and we can't ignore it.
Absolutely. And this isn't just about battlefields either, right?
Nope. This tech, it's spreading fast. Smaller countries can get it, groups, even individuals.
That's scary.
What happens when terrorists or criminals have these things?
I don't even want to think about it.
You could have targeted assassinations, smuggling, attacks on whole cities.
Jeez.
It could totally change global security. Imagine any group, if they have the money, can get these drones.
Yeah.
It could destabilize whole regions, make violence and conflict way worse.
This sounds like a serious warning. We need, like, some rules, international agreements.
100%. We need to control how this tech is developed, who gets it before it's too late.
Yeah.
Clear ethical rules, what's allowed in war, and who's held accountable. It's not just about stopping bad guys.
Right.
It's making sure this whole thing is used responsibly, ethically.
So, Russia-Ukraine, it's like we're seeing a preview of the future of war.
Yep.
Where drones aren't just a tool, they're like the main thing. But it's a future with a lot of uncertainty, ethical problems, potential danger.
Totally. And it's a future we need to be shaping, not just watching happen.
Right, right.
The choices we make now about how we build this tech, control it, those have consequences for, like, generations to come.
So we're at a turning point.
Yeah, for sure. Drones are evolving so fast, we got to keep up, understand what it all means.
This makes me think, are other countries, are they paying attention to what's happening in Ukraine?
Oh, absolutely. They're watching closely.
And how's that changing how they think about drone warfare? What are they doing?
That's the big question, and that's what we'll get into next. How the lessons from Ukraine are affecting military strategies and policies all over the world. It's been a real wake-up call, you know? Countries are realizing drone warfare isn't some sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
It's happening in 9W, and it's a big deal for who's got the power.
Right, right.
We're seeing massive investment in drone tech everywhere.
Like how massive?
Research, development, buying up drones, the whole 9 yards.
So everyone's playing catch up.
Totally. They're watching what works, what doesn't, both sides, trying to learn about tactics, how to counter them, what it all means on the battlefield.
Makes sense. Any specific examples of this happening?
China, for one. They saw how effective those Turkish drones were, like the Bayraktar.
Yeah.
Now they're pouring money into their own drone programs, advanced stuff. Big on AI, autonomous capabilities.
Wow, so they want to be the leaders in this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What about the U.S., you ask?
Yeah, how are they reacting to all this?
Well, they've been ahead of the game for a while.
Right.
But even they're learning from this. They're interested in those smaller, quicker drones and better ways to stop enemy drones.
So it's a two-way street.
It is. Ukraine's shown even a powerful military can be vulnerable to drones. Got them rethinking their whole defense strategy.
It's not just about having the best drones then.
Nope. You got to adapt constantly, new tactics, new counters. It's a whole arms race, but for technology.
So where does this leave us globally? Are we headed for a world where everyone's using drones, more conflict, more instability?
It's a real possibility. If this tech spreads without any control, it could be bad news. Imagine terrorist groups with swarms of armed drones. Or countries that don't care about the rules.
It's kind of terrifying.
It is. The potential for chaos, destruction, is huge.
Sounds like we need some kind of global agreement on this.
Definitely. International rules, ethical guidelines, control who gets this tech.
Right, right.
Otherwise, it's a free-for-all. Needs cooperation between countries, which is always tricky.
Yeah.
But with something this dangerous, we gotta try.
Well, we've come a long way in this deep dive, haven't we? From those Ukrainian battlefields to the whole world.
We have.
We've seen how powerful drones are, the good, the bad, the ethical questions,
Lots to think about.
and how important it is to make sure this tech is developed responsibly with some rules.
It's been fascinating, really. We've only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But hopefully everyone listening has a better idea now of what's at stake here.
Absolutely. And it's not just up to governments, military folks.
No.
We're all citizens. We need to be informed, talk about this, how this tech is used, how it's controlled.
Couldn't agree more. The future of drone warfare, it's being decided right now. We all have a part to play in making sure it's a future we can actually live with.
That's a powerful thought. A good place to leave it, I think. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of drones.
My pleasure.
It's definitely a topic that deserves more attention, more critical thinking, and for all of us to stay engaged.
Absolutely. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and stay informed, everyone.
Until next time.